Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Formal Fridays here on Gracenobstacles. Today I thought that we would go back to the main reason why I started YouTube, which is wanting to talk to other women out there about infertility, specifically PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. I really wanted to get out there to help others, and so I've done a few videos the last couple of weeks to kind of allow you to get to know me better. And so I thought that today I would actually take the time to make the video specific to polycystic ovarian syndrome. And so let's get started. So first of all, I'm going to go through three different kind of topics with you guys. So the first one's going to be what is PCOS. Second is going to be talking a little bit about living with PCOS and different symptoms associated with it. Ooh. And then the third aspect is going to be, can you get pregnant with PCOS? And so I'm going to go through those three kind of subheadings really quickly, and then I have a really special announcement at the end. So watch the whole video so you can hear the special announcement at the end. So let's get started. So first of all, PCOS stands for polycystic ovary syndrome or ovarian syndrome. It can also be called hyperandrogenic anovulation. And so basically hormones are just out of whack, they're not balanced, not doing what they're supposed to be doing. You get too much of one hormone, not enough of the other hormone, and so it just kind of puts everything out of whack. PCOS is the most common endocrine disorder for women between the ages of 14 and 44, and it affects 10 to 15% of women in that age group. And so that's kind of PCOS in a nutshell. Very quickly, I mean, if you want to know more about it, definitely Google it. There's tons of information out there, but that's kind of the gist of it. So the second part of it, living with PCOS. So I'm just going to kind of go through some of the different symptoms. So symptoms of PCOS can include irregular or absent menstrual cycles. It can also symptomize as excess growth of facial and body hair. You can also get tons of acne. You can get a lot of pelvic pain due to the cysts, which is why it's called polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's cysts on the ovaries. So you can develop a lot of pelvic pain, and also you can have a lot of trouble getting pregnant. Associated conditions of PCOS can include type 2 diabetes, obesity, obstructive sleep apnea, heart disease, mood disorders, and endometrial cancer. So to get a diagnosis of PCOS, you have to have two of the three findings. So the first one is no ovulation, so you don't ovulate, which means you don't get a period. Second one is high androgen levels, and the third one is cysts on your ovaries. So for me personally, it was no ovulation, and so I never got a period. I would get one maybe 2 times a year, which for me as a teenager was excellent. To not have a period was perfect. Awesome. And then I also had cysts on my ovaries, and so whenever I did blood work, my hormone levels seemed fine. They weren't kind of out of the ordinary, and so PCOS didn't show up on blood work for me. However, when I had an ultrasound done, my cysts were covered in hundreds of these tiny little cysts. And so for me, I had 2 of the 3 symptoms, and so I was diagnosed with PCOS. And now I was diagnosed with PCOS at the age of 14. So basically, I hit puberty, I got that first menstrual cycle, and then I didn't get another one for, I think it was like 7 or 8 months. And so my mom took me to a doctor, and it was then that I was diagnosed with PCOS. And so what they did for me back then was they put me on birth control pills, and this is one way that your hormone levels can kind of become more imbalanced, and they try and get you back on that cycle of 28 days or whatever it was of having a period and having a menstrual cycle. And so that's one of the ways that you typically can deal with PCOS. But primarily my issue with PCOS is weight gain, which is a huge problem when you have PCOS. Some women can be tiny, or even just an average weight and still have PCOS, but the majority of women with PCOS have trouble with their weight and really have trouble losing weight. I was always a skinny kid whenever I was little, and as soon as puberty hit, my hormone levels went out of whack, and from there on out, I've always had trouble with my weight. No matter how much I played sports, I was very active, played sports all the time. No matter how many sports I played, how many diet fads I tried, whether it was Weight Watchers, Herbal Magic, Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, tried everything, could not lose weight. Ever. I could not lose weight. I had to have a very, very strict diet plan, and still do, very strict diet plan, and I try and be as active as possible just to maintain my weight. Whenever I go off of my food schedule or I become inactive, my weight, I can gain like 10 pounds in a week. My weight just, it goes crazy. And so it's one of the very, very frustrating things about PCOS. And it's hard because you talk to people and they're like, well, why don't you just try and lose weight? Just eat healthy, just do this. And it's like, not that easy. It's very, very difficult. Your body, when you have PCOS, it's all dealing with the pancreas and your how the body deals with sugars, and so it's very hard to lose weight because your sugars are out of whack, your hormones are out of whack, and your body just doesn't want to let go of that weight. And so unfortunately, PCOS does not have a cure. There are ways to treat PCOS, but you can never really get rid of PCOS. So a few ways that some women can treat PCOS and how your doctor will tell you to treat PCOS is a lifestyle change. So whether you lose weight, eat healthier, become more active, that's how they're going to suggest that you treat PCOS. Another way, like I mentioned, was birth control pills. That's what they tried to do with me and to get me back on that cycle. And it did work. I got back on that cycle. My acne went away. And so that's great. Another way that they treat PCOS is with metformin, and it is actually a pill that they give to a lot of diabetics, mainly because diabetes and PCOS have a lot of similar traits, especially when it comes to dealing with the sugar and the sugar levels. And so sometimes metformin can actually help those with PCOS get their sugar back regulated, and in a lot of women it actually restarts their cycle and it gets their hormones and everything back in check. And so number 3, the third point that I was going to talk about is, can you still get pregnant if you have PCOS? And the answer is absolutely yes. I am living proof that you absolutely can get pregnant if you have PCOS. I was told when I got that diagnosis of 14 or 15 that I may not be able to have kids, and to me that was absolutely devastating. All I ever wanted was to be a mom. And so I thought that if I was on the birth control pills, I got that sorted out, if I did this, this, and this, then I wouldn't have a problem. Unfortunately, we did have a problem, and so we had to get treatments in order to help with the PCOS and getting pregnant. So it can definitely be more challenging to get pregnant if you have PCOS, but it is definitely possible. PCOS is one of the leading causes of infertility in women, but they now have a few treatments that you can attempt in order to get pregnant. So first, again, like I just mentioned, metformin. And so doctors will primarily give you metformin first to see if they can regulate your cycles and get your sugars and whatnot in check. Now, my OB did prescribe metformin, however, it made me incredibly sick, and so I was taken off of it very quickly. So one of the most popular fertility treatments is clomipene or Clomid. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this. If not, Clomid is a non-steroidal fertility treatment. And so what it does is it causes the pituitary gland to release the hormones that will tell your body to ovulate. And ultimately, this is what worked for me. I was on a single dose, 50 milligrams for 3 months, did not work, didn't ovulate. I was on a double dose for 3 months, did not ovulate. They finally put me on a triple dose, first 2 months, did not work. The last month, my 9th round, which they said if I didn't get pregnant or didn't ovulate, I was gonna have to be sent to someone much higher to talk about further invasive procedures. But anyways, that 9th round, that triple dose, I finally ovulated, and Amelia is not here with us today. And so other ways that they will help women with PCOS get pregnant is through IUI or IVF. And so I won't get into too much detail about these because I haven't been through them myself, and so I don't want to say something in case it's not right. I don't have a lot of personal experience with it, but you can definitely Google it or go online and check it out. So IUI, which I believe is intrauterine insemination, I believe is what that is, and then IVF, which is in vitro fertilization, and 2 different ways that some women, if the Clomid doesn't work, or Provera is another kind of form of Clomid, I think, if that doesn't work for them, they can go to the more invasive procedures, of the IUI and IVF. And so all of you ladies out there who are dealing with PCOS, you are so not alone. I am dealing with it. I have like 10 friends who have it. Like I said, 10 to 15% of the population of girls between 14 and 44 have PCOS. That's a huge, huge number. I firmly believe that the number is increasing based on a lot of the hormones in the foods that we're eating, as well as all those years of taking birth control pills. I really feel that that's causing a lot of issues with getting pregnant. And so if you have PCOS and you are trying to get pregnant and it's not working, hang in there. It will happen. Again, I am living proof that it will happen. It may take 3 years like it did for me. It may take 10 years like it does for some women, or it could just take a few months. Once you get on some treatments, it may just take a couple months, just like it did for some friends of mine. So you're not alone. It will happen. So my fingers are crossed for all of you, but just hang in there and stay positive. Don't get too down. I know it's really, really hard to go through that and see all those negative tests and have all those problems, but it's okay. We're all here with you. It's gonna be okay. And so finally, for my special announcement. So coming up is Canadian Infertility Awareness Week. This is May 19th to the 28th. So coming up in just a few weeks. And what I really want to do is make an infertility awareness video. And so what I'm doing, I'm looking for 100 women who have had issues getting pregnant or who are currently having issues getting pregnant, and I want to make a video of different clips of all these women and put it out there so people can put a face to infertility. A lot of people know, I don't think anybody really knew that I was going through a lot of problems getting pregnant. I would always get the question of, when are you guys gonna start trying? Why aren't you pregnant yet? And because a lot of people didn't know that I was having a lot of trouble getting pregnant. And a lot of people do. And not a lot of people know about it. People aren't really educated on the idea of infertility. And so I want to put a face to the term of infertility. And so I need your help. And so again, I'm looking for 100 women. All you have to do is send me a 20 to 30 second video clip to the email listed below. So send that video clip, and all you're gonna do is you can say your name. You don't have to if you don't want to, but your name, your age, and just kind of what you're going through. So whatever that issue is, briefly describe what you're going through, and again, 20 to 30 seconds, send it to the email below. If you don't want to send a video, that's perfectly okay. You don't have to. And so another option, if you don't want to send the video, is to send me a picture, again, to the email below, of yourself holding up a sign, similar to this one. And so all it needs to say is your name. It doesn't have to if you don't want to, but your name, your age, and again, the issue that is causing you infertility problems. So for me, my name is Miranda. I'm 28 years old, and I have PCOS. And so that's all you have to do. So I'm looking for 100 people, 100 women. I want to put this video together, and I think it would be awesome. And so deadline is May 17th, so that'll give me a few days to get the video, everything put together for it to come out on my formal Friday, that Friday. So deadline May 17th, again, send it to the email below. I will put all the information and that you need to know in the description box below. In case you didn't catch it, I know I'm going through this really quickly. I'm trying not to make it a big, long video. So check down below if you have any more questions. I look forward to seeing your videos and your pictures. And please share this video with anybody you know that might want to take part in it. Again, I'm looking for women everywhere. You don't have to be Canadian. I know that it's Canadian Infertility Awareness Week. But you can be from Canada, you can be from the States, from Europe, Australia. I want to find women from everywhere, because I think this will be awesome. And so thanks for watching another Formal Friday today, guys. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed but want to keep watching, press that subscribe button. I do daily vlogs every day with my daughter Amelia. Sometimes my husband Luke, who's a very hard worker and isn't home too often. Press that subscribe button. And then Formal Friday videos every Friday where it's just me talking to the camera. And leave a nice and friendly comment below. And we will see you guys next Friday. Bye, guys.